we have John in here with us tonight also.
Oh, buddy, how you doing?
How's it going? I am here. I didn't know if you want me to talk yet or not. I was just hanging in.
Heck yeah, buddy. I'm glad you're here. I'm sorry if I talk too much. Hey, John is a veteran VIP. He's a good man. He's a good friend. He knows his stuff. John, I'm glad you're here. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, sir.
No, thank you.
So I'm gonna tell you what I'm going to do. I could ask you questions, or if you'd like, you may have you're an organized man. Again, you're a veteran at this. If you'd like to just talk for a while in presentation, hey, take it away, and I'll be completely quiet and respectful for you, sir.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, mental capital, that's basically the one thing that I had to work on the most. And sharing the good times, I guess you could say, like you were talking about. Getting a little trigger happy or mouse happy, if you were. Trying to get in and out too quick. But that was more day trading stuff, and luckily I'm past that and well past that. Do
I
not
love it.
regret that decision at all. But yeah, I mean, I think, like I said, this is probably the best thing we can actually have happen. Pretty big gap down if you're looking at smaller time frames, but bigger time frames is actually really constructive. And there's so many people on FinTwit, the people that we follow that do the Can Slim, talking about wanting to get in on a pullback and this and that. And I'm sure a lot of people got in pretty heavy on the last pullback. It wasn't very big, but now we're getting another one. So hopefully they have capital set aside for, some pullback ads or whatever they have going on. But we are a little faster. I feel like, I do like the best thing about Mission Winners is the ability to change time frames as far as like selling, taking profits in the strength, gap ups, the gifts, stuff like that, and you can always add back on pullbacks and stuff. That really, really helps the P&L big time. And there has been some where lately, when the market changed a couple weeks ago, like I was hopeful, I guess, and letting some things go a little further than they could, and came back a little on me. So that's a learning. You always have to learn from the market. Teaches you every day, and that's definitely something that I picked up. And basically just looking at the stats and seeing where you are for the past 30 days, past week, see where your profit and loss average is, and maybe try to sell into that. And when things start to change and you notice it, and maybe you have some FOMO because you sold too much, then you can change. But the market has to tell you what to do, and you trying to push your thoughts on the market never works out, never.
Man, what you just said there is gold. The market has to tell you what to do. That's power. That's power. We don't have to impose our will on it. We'll let it tell us what to do. And that way we'll stay on the right side of the action. That's all. John, I appreciate you sharing that thought there, buddy. Keep running with it, man. I'm going to listen.
Yeah, no worries. But yeah, like I said, just constantly learning with the market, and being able to mold yourself in your mind, and actually learn, that you don't know everything, and just pick up different things. And I'm so glad that I came across, your service here, Mission Winners, because it's like so much more low key. And like you talk about the I guess there's some guru furus out there that are kind of like horse race announcers, they get all fired up, they're flipping their desk over, screaming how much money they made. And that, for me, that puts me in that mindset too. And that has really affected my account to the negative side, never in the positive side, because you're always late behind them. They're before, they're in and out, and you're trying to catch up, and you feel like you missed something. So basically, like we talked about, the market is the best teacher for sure. But you have to be willing to learn. You have to go through the headaches and the pain and the emotion. And some people, like myself, takes a lot more pain and emotion to change my mind.
It takes time to get it. And it takes some, as you said, sir, it takes some pain. The people can take a negative and turn it into a positive are the leaders, the successful people in the markets and in life.
And like you were saying, as far as the negative into a positive, like you can have that learning experience, but then go for a pretty good run, like we might have had here, and then, just switch right back to the old habits, which you have to reflect on however you do that, journaling, meditation, time to yourself, stuff like that. And, you have to learn. If you're not willing to learn, you won't be in the game very long. The biggest thing was position sizing. And, we talked about it, I think, on the last webinar that we had, as far as Van Tharp and Tom Basso and how they, position size versus their account value and volatility and stuff like that. And I mean, the Can Slim method talks about it, but Van Tharp and Tom Basso actually go into it more detail. Like, you can actually set up a study on Thinkorswim that does it for you. And I had an Excel file where I would manually enter things, and finally coded it for ThinkScript, where it actually tells me, a 20% position, a 30% position, stuff like that, based on the amount of risk that I want to have in my total equity. And right now I'm at 1% risk. It could change here if things turn down, but like we talked about, this is really constructive. And so far, the SPY and Qs might have found a little bottom here, but ideally, this is the undercut of the 8, and it could rally back. It filled that gap to the left there, which isn't 3 days ago. But ideally, the 21 undercut and rally probably would give a lot of these fast movers time to set up longer handles and drift off on lower volume, stuff like that. And
Like, what were one or a couple of your bigger challenges that you had when you were just getting started in this, and how did you overcome them?
man, time.
There
Time.
you go.
I started investing, if you want to call it that. Like, I never really knew about the market, or I never knew about. I thought about retirement, but I never had any retirement set aside other than savings and checking. And I've never actually worked for someone. I've always had my own business going on, so I never been introduced to like 401k or IRA or stuff like that. And I read a Tony Robbins book, and we talked about buying companies that you use every day: Dunkin', Starbucks, Costco, stuff like that. So I did that, and then crypto was going a little wild, and I found myself essentially day trading with TD Ameritrade Web, which is absolutely horrible. The GBTC, the Bitcoin ETF, and I was like, man, I thought I was like the best thing ever, because every day it would go up, I'd sell, I'd buy and sell, and quickly I caught the day trading bug. And once you start searching social media for stuff like that, and you find all these Furus that really push the services, and they pay for the ads, so they pop up first. And I got on with a couple of them, and wow, my account just disappeared pretty quick. And man, I can't even tell you how many I've blown up, anywhere from 5 to 10 grand accounts, overseas brokers, stuff like that. I was primarily, I found myself shorting small caps, stuff like that, the stuff that moved, the stuff that came up on scanners in the morning. So it's really high motion. It was really, it was tough, because I actually had my business that was auto body collision repair at the time, and that was, that had to work. I had employees that had to have work, and I had to keep them busy. But then I found myself, I just kept getting more and more monitors in my office.
Oh boy.
So then, what happened there. More monitors, more chances to mess up, right?
Oh yeah.
And I was trading off the level 2, and I thought I was a tape reader, all that stuff. And man, the emotion, it was so hard, because like, people would call the body shop, and if the phone doesn't ring, like, you have no work. If customers don't walk in, there's no accidents, you can't feed your employees. And I would get stressed out that I had to go out and do an estimate, or the phone rang, and I'm in this trade, and I'd be like, oh, I'll just let it go, and when I come back, it'd be fine. I'd come back, and it would just be destroyed. An offering or something like that would come through, and I did that for almost 2 years, and
Whoa.
it was tough. And then I started another business within that company, the Loyal brand, which is T-shirt company, which I'm sure you know about. And
You got it. And I love it, brother. Thank you very much. I wear that shirt.
well, I never
No
stopped
bullpup.
studying the market, and the t-shirt company started to produce more in a 10 by 10 room than the whole body shop in a 5,000 square foot, building. So quickly I was like, man, like I can do this, t-shirt thing and trade. So, liquidated, sold the body shop, and started doing loyal in a smaller location, and still, which it allowed me to study and really reflect, and I wasn't past the point of day trading, and I still was trying to day trade, and went with more and more and more services, but eventually after, well, actually 2020, like I did really well on some of those because it was kind of like the motto that was out there was embrace the chase. Like you can be late, but all of these people that are home and not working with all the stimulus money are just chasing. So you kind of had leeway to be really reckless. And
Oh, yeah.
like you talked about talking about your P&L and reflecting on that. Um, so yeah, everybody's talking about it, and then you think you're so great, and you're giving advice, and then you're getting slammed sometimes because maybe like I was doing after hour stuff, before market hour stuff, all this news and stuff was going, and it was just, man, enough is enough. I actually got really sick from it, and I had major digestive issues, major, like I couldn't eat anything, my stomach rejected everything, and that right there was a huge turning point for me because I was super into fitness and diet and stuff, and I couldn't eat. I couldn't. I was too stressed. Um, and that was, with a decent sized account too. So, it was really stressful. And then running the other business, which was really taking off and really busy. And that was the breaking point for me. COVID came. We sold our house in Maryland actually, and relocated. And basically, I took that as 100% start fresh when we moved to Florida, which has been an absolute blessing for sure.
Good
We
job, buddy.
definitely, yeah, we try to live here as like our staycation forever, just stay on vacation. So once I discovered, man, it's so crazy. I had How to Make Money for Stocks book from day one, basically. Never read it. I finally cracked that book open after I think Richard Moglen had an interview, one of his very first things. I'm like, man, this dude went to the University of Maryland. That was 45 minutes from my house. Dr. Wish was there. I was like, how did
Yeah.
I miss this? Like, how did I not know? Well, it was because I was with the wrong group, following the wrong people. And then I super dove in big time. I tried a couple other people that were like the investing champion people, which was still too fast. It was still in and out, in and out, in and out. Even though it was Can Slam, it just wasn't what I wanted because the whole point of investing, and like you said, you don't like talking about like we're traders. We're not traders. We're active investors.
Yep.
We're only traders when the trade doesn't work out that day and when we take it off right away. Anything else is more active investing. We have to watch it, stuff like that. And yeah, I found Mission Winners, and the style just, it really, really fits me well because it's so low stress. It's so low stress. Once a position gets out, like our Tesla trade or an Nvidia trade, literally you can put your stops in. There's not going to be, pending news, a huge gap down. There won't be an offering. There's not going to be any malicious stuff behind the scenes where people are dumping shares on you. So it's so much more comfortable, that it allowed me to really expand loyal locally here in Florida. Now we're a local business.
Great.
My girl and I do it together, and that's her sole focus. And she knows more about the stock market than most people that trade, and just because I talk about it constantly. Um so yeah, I'm really thankful that we have that, and the market has been such a learning experience this past 2022, 21 at the end, all of 22 and 23. It's just been like, but you can see the turn, like things are changing. What just happened the past 2 months, and how the P&L literally skyrocketed because we were in the right stuff and you were positioned correctly. And if you check your stats and you monitor constantly, then you know when to progressive exposed, put more risk on, because your P&Ls are getting bigger, then you can risk that. You put more trades on, stuff like that. It's been great. Mission Winners has been the greatest thing. I cannot wait until we do the in-person. I don't even care if it's a Friday night. It doesn't matter to me. I'll come up. That's great. Let's do it. Just to meet everybody in person or whoever can come. It's just, I know it's far for some people. For Rich, it would be a heck of a trip. But maybe we'll go visit him, get some nice weather.
I'm up for that. Rich, we're coming down, buddy.
Yeah. So the biggest takeaway is time. You have to. So right now we're like, oh no, the market's pulling back, this and that. Patterns take time. So you have to be positioned right now to where you can be stopped out of all these. Your equity curve should be close to highs for the year, for sure, or at highs. And if it's not, you have to dig back and see why. What did I do wrong? Did I go too big? Am I chasing things that I shouldn't? Am I looking at low price stocks? Did I have some crazy news happen because they aren't canned slim stocks? Or are they under $12 or $10? Like, it's just a reflection on yourself is number one. You have to learn yourself first. And I know I'm very impulsive. And it's great. I can't remember where I heard this, and it's so true. It might have been on a YouTube video or something. If you're a business owner and you're not an employee, you're constantly putting fires out. Every day, 100 problems that come with 100 more. And it's fine. It's just part of business. You know what I'm saying? But you cannot do that in the market. You have to be okay just getting rid of the fire and stop trying to feed it, averaging down, adding to a loser, which is averaging down. You have to be okay being wrong, or I guess kind of stepping aside and just firing your employee, which essentially is the stock. So that's kind of how I look at it now. Like, these stocks work for me. If they're not working, if they're just hanging out and doing nothing, going on longer lunch breaks, essentially, just kick them. It's that easy, because the ones that work, man, they really work. Really, really work.
Thank you for watching the video. We hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please hit like. Maybe hit that subscribe button. We come up with new content nearly every day. Also, check out the videos on the right. YouTube recommends the one on the top, and the bottom one is something we thought you might enjoy. See you next time.